the King has been in Paris. He has been on a state visit with the Queen, with Queen Camilla, and he has said that he's branded global warming our most existential challenge. He said that a new Entente Cordiale is needed to tackle the global climate emergency. I hate people calling it a climate emergency. It absolutely isn't. It is something we need to be concerned about. The climate is changing. I believe in man-made climate change. Not everybody does, but I do. And yeah, it is just the King has gone woke basically and is lecturing us, and that's not what a monarch is meant to do. In my understanding of what a monarch is meant to do, should take a leaf out of his mother's book. Charlie Ray is the former royal editor of The Sun and joins me now. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you again, Peter.
Nice to see you too, Charlie. The King lecturing us on climate change. What do you think?
I think he's got this wrong. I think he's now walking a political tightrope, given that Sunak, on the day that the King and Queen arrived in France, was already rowing back on his net zero policies. And, you know, Peter from Wallington has just made a very, very valid point. You know, the King's flying around in jets and everything else, and he's now starting to lecture us on what we should do and everything else. And,
you could argue, I suppose, Charlie, that this is consistent with his previous position.
Oh, sure.
You know, he's campaigned on this for years, as you know far better than I do, as
Sure.
a former royal editor of The Sun. But shouldn't he be just a bit more impartial, I suppose, as King?
I think he should, but more importantly, he and his people knew exactly the framework of his speech. You know, with the knowledge that Sunak gone on and said what he was saying about rowing back, and Sunak was making the point that, you know, you cannot impose all this money that's going to be needed for this, you know, climate revolution on the normal people. You, me, the readers, the listeners, the viewers. You can't do this. And I think that Charles is going to be interesting. The next meeting he has with Sunak on this, how they discuss this.
So is this a slap in the face for the Prime Minister, do you think, Charlie?
I wouldn't say it's a slap in the face. It's certainly, he's laying out his stall. And as you quite rightly made the point, that he's been banging on about this for 40 years. So this is not something that he's suddenly, you know, come up. But remember, as Charles became king, he said, I'm not going to interfere politically. Things he could say and do when he was Prince of Wales, he did. And he got criticised and praised for it, depending. I'm not so sure that most people in this country would take what the King was saying, you know, it would go down well with the vast majority of people in this country.
I think you're absolutely right, Charlie. Will he take any lesson from it? I mean, he got a standing ovation for 2 minutes and he got applause at the start of it. He spoke in English and French. I mean, presumably he'll think it all went marvellously.
Oh yeah, well, he will think it's all gone marvelously. I mean, he won't change. I mean, this is the King. This is the way he is, and this is something that he is deeply passionate about. I'm like you. I don't necessarily agree with him on the climate change issue. I'm sure we are concerned about it, but it's not an emergency as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, no, I'm sure he will say, his people will go back when they review the visit. They'll say, yeah, well done. You got fantastic as well done. You've got lots in the papers. There's lots in the papers this morning. And that's the point of it.
Charlie, thank you very much for that. Charlie Ray there, former royal editor of The Sun.